it shows the level of trust one has in the Indian audience that they named the event Dangal. Either a 3-round decision or a TKO win. Brandon Vera was the face of Muay Thai in the light heavyweight division before John Jones came with his spinning elbows and the knees
One Dangal will be broadcasted in India on Saturday, May 15, 2021 from 3:30 p.m. IST on Star Sports Select 2, Hotstar and Star Sports First. Here is the preview for the event.
Bala, apart from UFC 262, we also have a great One Championship card this weekend. It's a pre-recorded event, but it's a great event. One Dangal, we have a lot of Indian fighters in there, like Indian origin fighters and Indian fighters there. So we'll focus on 3 fights now. Like we have Gurdarshan Mangat versus Roshan Mainam, Ritu Fogart versus BN Nguyen, and Brandon Vera versus Arjun Bulla for the title. So first of all, Gurdarshan versus Roshan. Roshan is taking this fight on a short notice, catch weight, 65 kilograms. So how do you think this will play out?
I have Gurdarshan is also a very good fighter. Roshan is taking this fight on a short notice, but the catch weight 65 kg, I feel it doesn't matter too much because both those fighters are used to fighting at 61 or 57. Both those fighters are of similar sizes, though Gurdarshan is a little bit taller, and you have Roshan who is a little bit stockier. Now I have trained with Roshan's coach in India and his fighters, Vishal Sehgal, Coach Vishal, amazing coach, and his group of fighters from Manipur and at Koi Combat. Now those guys are very good wrestlers, very good wrestlers. At the core, of course, Vishal sir is teaching them striking and of course they're learning jiu-jitsu here. But from Manipur, from their hometown, they are very good wrestlers. And when I say good wrestlers, I mean national level wrestlers. And India, if you are India national level in boxing, and if you're in India national level in wrestling, at least in combat sports, you can say you are world class because India is currently winning medals in Olympics. And of course, at the boxing level, India has got, like in junior, we saw 8 gold medals for India. Very well performed India. So boxing and wrestling, you can say that India is at the world level, top. And Roshan has trained at the national camp. So his wrestling is amazing. And having trained with those guys, I know their wrestling is amazing. But now you have a fighter in Gurdarshan, Gary Mangat, who is himself a very good grappler. He's trained with Demetrius Johnson. He was a regular training partner of Demetrius Johnson. And he trains at Extreme Couture in last.
He has also trained with GSP at TriStar.
Yeah, of course, at TriStar. But of course, he wouldn't have personally trained with GSP because of course you have the weight difference. But with Demetrius Johnson, he has personally been a sparring partner for him. You cannot be a sparring partner for GSP if you are a flyweight. But he's been a sparring partner for Demetrius Johnson, who is you can say one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. So he has that experience in his hand. He has a very good anti-grappling game. He's himself a very good grappler. He loves to be on the top position. But while defending takedowns also, he is very good. Now I don't know if you have seen the fight with Stefan Loman in Brave. He got knocked out. His striking is not that good. But Stefan Loman is a striker. And Roshan also is a wrestler. So it's going to be a clash of like Indian wrestling versus the grappling cage. Because against the cage, Gurdarshan is very good. Like, of course, we have seen with Khabib coming in that in the middle of the cage grappling and on the cage where you take him down is very different. So it's not necessary that a good wrestler will be able to take him down because you can use the cage to get up or you can use the cage to take him down. So that will be the difference because I think the experience of Gurdarshan is very good. But the raw power and Roshan is now training with Evolve. Yeah, so we haven't seen what improvements he has got in the game because he's been like one championship before this, he's been killing people, like just taking them down and mauling them.
So he has only lost to Kandaraj Agasa. Like the first fight in 2017, Kandaraj got a quick finish, but in the second fight, Roshan pushed Kandaraj to a 3-round war. So in 1 year, he had such improvement. So
I've talked to his coach and he's always been a quick learner. That guy Roshan has always been a quick learner. Now that is the case, right? That is what the point is. Kantaraj also is a very good wrestler.
Mhm.
They couldn't take him down, and they had the very good war. Like I've seen, that was very entertaining fight. Now that is what we will have to see there, because both the fighters are very good grapplers. Sometimes what happens is it depends on the striking game. I don't think Gurdarshan is gonna take Roshan down because he is that good of a wrestler.
Mhm.
So I think Gurdarshan will have to depend on his striking on this one, and we'll have to see, because we have not seen Roshan strike that much
Mhm.
apart from Kantaraj fight. Because in one championship he just come, he's taken them down with his amazing wrestling, and he's just finished it. But against Gurdarshan, we'll have to see how their striking game is. And I think Evolve, if Roshan has, of course, Evolve has so many Muay Thai world champions. So if Roshan fight, and Roshan has the power, I don't, I don't feel Gary Mangat having the power, because I've seen his fight and he's more of a ground and pound, submission. But he's never had that knockout power where he just one punches guys and they go down. But Roshan is very powerful. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a very 50-50 fight. Like the most 50-50 fight on this card, because this card is an amazing one, and it shows the level of trust one has in the Indian audience, that they
Mhm.
named the event Dangal. They pushed that event around the Indian fighters. So it shows the level of trust, and I think they are finally ready to come into India with this card. And I
Mhm.
think they, like, if COVID was not there, they were saying they will come in India. So I think they are ready, because they have signed a lot of fighters from India and they
Mhm.
have seen that talent in India. I think they are finally ready, and this card shows it. This card is like the homegrown Indian fighter who is Roshan against
Mhm.
the Indian origin fighter. So we'll see how India's level matches up against the international talent. So this is a very, like, a good fight for me.
Awesome. So after that, we got Ridu Phogat versus B. Nguyen. Now Ridu has been on an undefeated streak, like 4 wins. Nguyen coming into a fight with a losing streak of her own, and it has all the shades of a grappler versus striker fight. So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this one?
So I honestly feel like, the caliber of Ritu Phogat's opponents in the first some fights has
Mhm.
not been that good. I will say that. But again, B Nguyen is a very experienced fighter. She has a losing record of 5-6, but that record doesn't show the quality of opposition she has had in one championship. Now the question again is, like we have said, you can be a well-rounded fighter, you can be an amazing striker, but if you have a wrestler, that can change the game. So again, the Bean Nguyen, but of course Ritu Phogat has to be careful, because Bean Nguyen is that crafty of a striker. She's a Muay Thai person, she's a Muay Thai fighter. She's that crafty of a striker that she can catch Ritu Phogat coming in. But I feel that apart from that, if Ritu Phogat, which I feel is very unlikely, does not manage to take Bean Nguyen down, then it is gonna be a problem. But I feel that this fight, Ritu Phogat will be able to take her down. And of course, she in Binuen's fight, she has shown that she has a problem with grapplers. Stamp Fairtex took her down. She tries to take her down, but she's a little bit shorter. But and Ritu Phogat has, like, world class. She's world class, like a Commonwealth gold medalist, and she comes from a family of Phogat. Of course, Dangal. Dangal, literally, she is Dangal. Like, she
Mhm.
is the person on the family whom Dangal is based. So, like, I don't think Ritu Phogat is gonna have a problem if she decides to take her down. If I haven't seen anything from B Nguyen's game, Killer Bee's game, that shows that Ritu Phogat will have a problem of taking her down. One thing can happen, that coming in, Ritu Phogat is so inexperienced that she just goes in with a takedown, and
Mhm.
Bean Nguyen catches her with something. But other than that, I don't see this fight being a problem. Of course, on the ground, it can be difficult, but if just Ritu Phogat decides to smother, and again, like we talked about the Evolve MMA, the world-class trainers they have there. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem for Ritu Phogat to just control the fight, and then, either a 3-round decision or a TKO or a submission. But I don't think I think Vilwen is that experienced that she won't get submitted by Ritu Phogat, because Ritu
Mhm.
Phogat is not that experienced on the submission side of the game. But either things can happen, that I feel like it will be a TKO on the ground, like Ritu Phogat ground and pound, like she goes on the crucifix, or a 3-round smothering decision. I feel one of the two things. And I feel it's a good win for Ritu Phogat. They are increasing by slowly they are increasing the quality of opponents, because on May 28th she has to fight at atom weight Grand Prix. So it is a good test
Against
for
Mengbo, like she's
Yeah.
probably one of the experienced fighters on one championship currently.
So they are giving her a step up, and as much as I like to say no, one championship little bit is biased in favor of Ritu Phogat because the Indian market, but I feel it will be a good test for. It will be a legit name. This is a legit name, but a winnable name. So I feel Ritu Phogat will get the win.
Awesome, awesome. So after that, we have that main event for the heavyweight title between Brandon Vera and Arjan Singh Bhullar. Now, Arjan won his one championship debut before this against Mauro Cerelli. Brandon lost his fight against Ong Lion Sang, but that was at light heavyweight. He is currently undefeated in heavyweight when it comes to one championship, Brandon Vera, and he also has that experience of fighting in the UFC, where he has faced names like Fabricio Verdum, John Jones, a lot of big names. So, what's your take on this fight?
My take on this fight is, I mean, you have seen Arjan Bhullar, right? I don't know if you remember this 2017. We were at the Yodha and he had come. Yes. So yeah. So he had come. So he's like he's maybe what 5'10", 60, and he's a very huge guy, like width wise. And if you see his fighting style, you will be reminded a lot of Daniel Cormier. You will see a lot of Daniel Cormier. But again, he's not that fast enough, but he has an Olympic experience. Now this is about his wrestling. He has Olympic experience and he has trained with Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez and all the other people like AK. So he has that typical style of moving forward, and we saw this in the UFC where he has a typical style of moving forward, dirty boxing like DC, put them against the cage, grind them out. Now you have in front of him, you have a veteran like Brandon Vera, who has a lot of experience, but again, he was the light heavyweight champion and the heavyweight champion at one championship. Now you are the light heavyweight champion. That means you can make the light heavyweight limit, and that means you are a little bit smaller in weight. And I feel that weight will play a definite factor in this fight. Brandon Vera has the technique. He's a very crafty veteran who knows how to avoid the wrestlers because he has always been a striker. Even before John Jones, he was the guy. Like when John Jones and Brandon Vera fought, they said old Muay Thai. Like Brandon Vera was the face of Muay Thai in the light heavyweight division before John Jones came with his spinning elbows and the knees. So Brandon Vera was the old guard, and he knows how to defend takedown. But does he know how to defend takedowns against an Olympian who's a heavyweight, like a proper heavyweight, heavy guy, and who's trained with DC, Cain Velasquez, etc. So he's not just an Olympic wrestler coming into UFC. He's trained with those guys who are excellent in the art of using the cage, using the dirty boxing. And Brandon Vera hasn't fought since 2019. After his defeat to Ong La Sang, he's not fought since 2009. Now the question here, exactly the ring rust, the weight. Again, it comes down to that the fast hands have to do their work. Otherwise, you are in trouble. Your striking has to do the work before Arjan Bhullar closes the distance. Then you are in big trouble. The only loss Arjan Bhullar has in UFC is that I don't know. It's a very Polish name. I won't try to pronounce it. He was a very tall guy. He was a 6'7" guy. He took him down. Arjan Bhullar took him down, and he had an omoplata finish. Arjan Bhullar lost that fight via submission. Brandon Vera has a good submission game, but
he's a BJJ black belt also.
Yes, but in a world of BJJ black belts, and again, like people say in UFC commentary, there are black belts and there are black belts. The kind of top game Arjan Bhullar brings, I don't see Brandon Vera able to submit him. As far as I've seen both this guy's game, the kind of top pressure he brings, because the guy Arjan Bhullar lost to was a 6'7" guy with very long legs. Brandon Vera is not that tall. Brandon Vera is not a real heavyweight. He's always been a light heavyweight. He just came to one, and one's heavyweight division is so and there's
Shallow.
nobody there. Yeah, shallow. Nobody's there. So of course he saw easy opportunity. I'm a light heavyweight. I'm a UFC level light heavyweight. I've fought in UFC, so I can easily compete with these guys and win the UFC one championship heavyweight title. So I'll be a double champion. More money for him. But against a true UFC level heavyweight, I don't see that happening. Because even Arjun Gundar left the UFC on a 2-fight win streak. He did not lose. He did not. He was not thrown out from the UFC like 3-fight losing streak. No, he was on a 2-fight win streak, and then he decided, oh, UFC is not giving me the respect I want. UFC is not giving me the money I want. So he left on his own. Nobody said, Arjun Gundar, you are not fit for UFC. No, you don't deserve to be on UFC. So the test again, UFC level heavyweight, I don't see that happening. I don't see Brendan Vera, winning. And except for a knockout, I don't. But Arjun Gundar is that experience that he comes in with his hands up and he closes the distance, dirty boxing. He won't give the chance to Brandon Vera. So apart from a very unexpected result, I don't see Brandon Vera winning. This fight.
You're saying that there's a big chance that we'll see an Indian origin one championship champion at one Dangal.
Yes. I feel Dangal is gonna be real. One championship is gonna be one championship gonna be happy with Indian fighters, and next year I'm very optimistic about one championship investing even more in India. Now we have people like Kantaraj also signed to One FC.
Fine.
Yes, and they are looking at a lot of other people. First they used to just find the veterans of the Indian game, but of course they were. Of course, I'm not blaming them because at that time we did not have the training here. Now I think most of the good trainers I have seen they are on comparable level to those we have in foreign. Only thing remaining is the infrastructure. But the trainers we have, the coaches we have are on par with the level we see outside. So I feel like next year we will see a lot more signings in one championship, and those people will be like won't lose, but they will actually give a fight. They will not just be strikers and once they are on the ground, they will just be clueless. They will give a fight. We'll start with Kantara Jagasa. We of course have Roshan Mainam. We have Ritu Kokar, and of course other homegrown fighters I think we'll see in one championship.
Awesome. So great week of fights we have with One Dangal and
Yes,
UFC.
yes.
So Bala, thanks a lot for taking time out for this preview of both the fight cards. So and enjoy the fights this weekend. Thanks a lot once again.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate
anything you want to add before we close?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all thank you, Ranjit, because I appreciate the work you do with Locker Room, because Locker Room has lately been I've seen it like lately being on par with the websites we see, Bloody Elbow, MMA Fighting. So I really appreciate the work and thank you for keeping me as a part of the Locker Room family and inviting me. And I see big things for Indian MMA in the future. At least in the 5 years, I genuinely see the signs that Indian MMA is gonna grow very big. So I will definitely, and I'm honored to be a part of this community we have. And let's see Indian MMA grow, starting with one championship Dangal. So all the best to everyone. Yeah.
Awesome. So Bala, thanks a lot once again, and all the best for your upcoming fights, and hope to see you back in the cage soon once all this COVID
definitely.
is
I'm not retired. I'm just commentating, but I will definitely fight.
Awesome. So thanks a lot, Bala, once again. See you soon.
Thank you.